Welcome one, welcome all to another developer interview here on the Xbox Expansion Pass. Today, I am joined by the developers Nana, Anglerman, and Elektrobear at Moonana Games, set to launch the JRPG Keylocker. Thank you to all three of you for joining me.
Thank you for having us today. I'm Nanamon. I'm the CEO and I'm the CEO of Moonana. I'm the director. I do writing and some artworks and level design, a bunch of stuff. It's indie development, and you guys.
Elektrobear, it says you are the composer and producer as well.
Yeah, I take care of the music and I do a lot of like behind the scenes stuff, some biz dev stuff, a lot of the things that the creatives don't have to handle.
Very cool, very cool. And Anglerman, what are your roles?
Oh, I forgot to add the little thing on the corner. I do art, animation, and encounter design, scripts for events, and a lot of maps too, and a lot of things. I just don't touch music at all. Everything else has a little bit of a thing there.
Yeah,
Hard to stop.
yeah. We pretty much do a lot of things.
Yeah.
Me and Engleman.
Whenever something is needed, we're there for making it happen.
Yeah.
One of the things that I thought was really interesting, we were talking just prior to recording, is where you are all based. You're all based in different places, working on Keylocker. Iceland, England, Brazil. Like, it's pretty wild.
Yeah.
We have a programmer.
So how did you guys?
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. England,
We have a
please.
programmer on the United States as well, and our singer is from Italy.
Yeah.
And we have another artist who is Chinese. So we have a bunch of different places right now.
So that would put the studio at 6 people by my count. Is that correct, or are there more?
No, there is around officially 4 people, and then we have some other contractors that we call every now and again to do some things, like the singer, and then we have the artist from China is probably gonna become a full-time member soon. So that the artist didn't work on Keylocker, just the next thing that we're gonna work on.
Yeah, they're doing the cutscene on the little trailer animated trailer we released.
Yeah, they did the animated trailer for Keylocker as well.
Now, Nana, this is not the first game of Moonana Games. Like, this is the second one, you guys. The first one was Virgo versus the Zodiac. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So how long has the studio been operating?
Since 2017. I think, is that correct?
Probably.
Yeah.
2017, and we released Virgo in 2019, and then set to release Keylocker now in 2024. And we released in 2020 a game by Anglerman alone that he did by himself. We published his game, Osteoblast, the name. So we did that. It's a small RPG. Yeah, Elektrobear made the music, and it's a small RPG.
Oh, I see. Very cool. So that would imply that you guys have been working on Keylocker for roughly 4 years. Is that right?
Yeah.
Around that.
Oh, interesting.
We had some ideas.
Now, I
way back before Virgo even. It was something we were discussing. Like before releasing Virgo, we already knew Keylocker was going to be the next game, and we were already thinking a bit about it. So, but it's around 4 years.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Now, I want to talk about Keylocker, but it's remarkable to me and impressive, and I always get a kick out of studios that are remote based. How did you guys come together as a team to start making games, given that you're geographically so far apart?
I already knew Anglerman, and then he was working for another studio at the time, and I stole him from the other studio to work for me at the time. And Elektrobear I met because he did the soundtrack for Momodora that I liked a lot. So
and I was like, oh, we gotta get this musician for us because
it was Anglerman.
The studio I worked
Anglerman recommended.
Was really like we were in development hell for many years, so working with Nana was
Yeah.
like a chance to make something that's actually going to release, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
actually
Then
sold.
we got to release it. Yeah. And then I found the programmers through Tumblr at the time. I just
Mhm.
did a little Tumblr post asking for programming help, and then they joined.
Gotcha. That's really cool to think that you guys came together and you've been able to put out 2.5 games, counting Anglerman's, which was sort of the studio and whatnot.
Yeah.
So Keylocker, this is a game that in watching the trailer, I get a big kick out of. And I know the elevator pitch and the press kits and such, but I would love for you guys to talk to me about how you came up with a turn-based cyberpunk action rhythm game, because that is a mouthful, but it looks so cool.
I think like one of our programmers really likes Guitar Hero and stuff, so he wanted to do that Guitar Hero thing. He was very excited to do that, and we already had this thing with Virgo going on of turn based with timed actions, so we tried to match that to the beat of the music a little bit,
You know what?
and then we had. Hmm?
No, I was gonna mention Superstar Saga, Mario and Luigi.
Yes,
That's
yeah,
the first idea
and
for making an RPG with like timed inputs, but more of an RPG than a Mario game. Like less about jumping around and more about making level up decisions and gear choices and stuff. That was the
yeah,
same
and
idea.
we had. Yeah, and we had the thing of like Elektrobear does a thing where he gives us the BPM of the songs, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Beats per minute?
yeah,
Yes.
Gotcha.
and then that's matched to the timed heat. Sometimes, like when some of the timed heats come along, and it's matched to that. So we have that going on as well. So we were pretty much adding the stuff we like into the game.
Mhm.
We have also this like little shooting up section that is inspired by the shooting up section in Nier Automata. If you played that game,
Mhm.
yeah, so it's
So
inspired by that.
yeah, I was gonna say I noticed that for all the JRPG-ness, the grid-based movement and the dialogue and such, the trailer showcases the Guitar Hero Rock Band style game that you were referring to with beats per minute, and also that Bullet Hell style game as well.
Yeah, yeah,
You, you guys put that in just because you enjoy those in other games? Was that the idea?
yeah, pretty much.
Partially, yeah. We wanted it really to be about Bobo, who has a band, and she we got in jail because of the band making shows and music being not allowed in the world. So we wanted to make it a thing like in universe where you play the music with her and her band, and you gotta find other members and stuff to get to the point where
Yeah,
you make a big show. And this is like it was envisioned because we could either do something interactive like that or just making it part of the story. But whenever you can sync in the game with the story, we do it. Like it's the point of the philosophy of the studio, like thinking what is in the game and what's the story of it, and everything makes sense around that. Mostly because we never liked the thing where there is a healer character in the party and the cutscene has someone die and then they just die forever and no one uses the healing spell. Like it exists
yeah,
in the battle but doesn't exist in the story. We try to make the opposite of that. Like everything exists in the story. Everything you do is really what's going on. So that's the point of not letting the player respawn, for example. You just lose and then you reload the save because you're not dying several times. The idea is that you just keep going. And
you're just being disconnected from the server because this is a cyberpunk world. So when you die, you can try again immediately after like dying in battle, which is really convenient because the combat is really hard.
So let's back up then, because I find we've referenced several things that I think are really, really cool. Uh, you've got this cyberpunk style game, where in this world music is outlawed.
Yeah.
And that premise to me speaks volumes. Why did you choose that to be kind of the crux of your story, the idea that music is illegal?
I really like the stories that have this theme of removing something from the world that is vital. Like I remember there was this story. I forgot the name now, but they removed the like ability for people to see, so a bunch of people around the world weren't able to see anymore.
Yeah,
Everyone
right.
was blind everywhere. I forgot the name now, but yeah, maybe blindness the name. But yeah, that was the premise. So I wanted to do something like that where I removed music and she's a singer, like the last one alive. That is a bug, that singers aren't being produced by the government anymore because these are like doppelgangers being government produced. So like she's this singer in this world without music, and she's like this bug in society. So I wanted to do something with that.
It's a really neat premise, and it feels like the game is built on that, given that you've got rhythm as such
Yeah.
a key element. Your main character is accompanied by I correct me if I'm wrong, it looked like a jukebox or something like
Yeah,
that. Is that
yeah.
right?
Jukebot.
Yeah, he's called Jukebot. Jukebot, yeah, because he's a bot, but a jukebox.
Gotcha. So really
Yeah.
hitting home the idea that they are musical elements in a world without music.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they're being hunted
I
all the
see.
time. We have this system where the police would arrive wherever you are if you did something unlawful, like playing music in an event or grabbing stuff.
Yeah.
That's,
When you talked about earlier Anglerman, you mentioned like Super Mario RPG as being an influence, and I think you said Superstar Saga.
yeah.
That is Super Mario. Yeah. The JRPG influence kind of seems to lend itself to that grid-based combat. How did you guys decide to set up those kind of mini games that you have in there versus kind of standard combat options?
Well, it all started with Virgo itself, where
Yeah.
we
Mhm.
initially Virgo was made on RPG Maker, and there were a bunch of plugins in there you could just download and find things. It used to be just a regular turn-based RPG until we got this plugin where you could do some timed actions, and we were like, well, this must be the thing. Like the whole game must be based around it because it's so much fun. You actually engage in every action, and you can just like feel more like you're doing the actions rather than telling the party member to do the actions. I think that sets the
Yeah.
difference. And when you go for immersion, this is probably the best way to do it while still being a turn-based game instead of outright being an action game. But
Yeah, creates more engagement
yeah,
overall when doing turn based and stuff.
it was just an idea that
Gotcha.
we ended up extrapolating for the whole game. It just
Yeah.
naturally fit.
And then for Keylocker as well, we just like wanted to do that, but without the buttons on the screen all the time because Virgo has the timed hit buttons on the screen, and we wanted to get the premise of the masochist mode in Virgo and put it in Keylocker and make it like not have the buttons on the screen all the time and be more dependent on the animations and your reactions to the animations, so you can really sink in the animations while playing the game. And then there's some small mini games throughout it as well.
Mhm. And you mentioned earlier in the interview that the game was difficult. The game is hard. Did
Yeah.
you set did you settle on like we want to make a difficult game from the get-go? Did that happen organically? And why did you choose the level of difficulty that you did?
We definitely wanted it to be difficult, and we wanted it to be like something that really creates importance for the story, because if you're not losing, if there's no stakes, then the story having stakes doesn't really match the energy of the
Mhm.
game. So to create these high stakes where like the overlords of society are hunting you down and you're a bug, and you're not supposed to, you don't belong here, kind of vibe. It really needed to hone home this thing of the stakes that you have in the game, as well with the difficulty.
Gotcha. I would imagine that's the difficulty of every game designer, is to be true to the story, the setting, the outcome, and then also try to balance the player's interaction there with difficulty and such.
Yeah.
Yes, because we go
I'm
building
curious.
everything all the time together instead of having like a setup for the story and then we go make the game. Everything is going in sync. For example, like Nana is writing the story as we're making the game. So these kind of
Yeah.
things must go hand in hand.
Yeah.
So that brings up the next question. Nana, you were the writer of the game?
Yeah. Yeah.
So one of the things I noticed in the trailer, mind you, so having seen the trailer, one of the things that stood out to me was just how much emotion and emotional expression characters seem to have, the world seems to have, whether it's the music that is playing, whether it's the dialogue on screen, whether it's something as perhaps as simple as just the dialogue vibrating and moving while a character is angry or sad. Emotional expression seems to be at the core of what it is you guys are doing. Would you agree with that, or am I misinterpreting?
Oh, yeah. We agree with that. Yeah, for sure.
So how did you go about balancing the emotion of, say, the dialogue, the writing, versus the sound and the audio that Elektrobear might have been working on?
I will leave this for Elektrobear to answer.
Well, it's a little bit tricky because as a musician, you're trying to make like it's a balancing act between like not overshadowing elements, but also fighting for your space in the whole thing, you know, because we want to make the music as good as possible, and it has to match every moment, and like the pacing has to be correct, and the emotional elements have to be correct, and all those things have to come together and then filter through Nana and Anglerman, who listen to everything as I make sure I don't send anything bad into the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically there is a lot to consider when it comes to that, making sure every song fits in every area.
And who wrote the songs, Elektrobear? Was that you that wrote them?
Yeah.
That has to be exciting, nerve-wracking, and kind of cool, because if I remember earlier, you said the singer lived in Italy. Did that mean you were communicating regularly with her?
Yeah, we were.
Yeah,
We were.
basically whenever we need something recorded,
Yeah.
we're
Gotcha.
talking with
And
her. So we've been communicating a lot, yeah.
yeah, and the lyrics, I did the lyrics, and then there were some at the end of development that the lyrics Electrobird wrote then, and then there's this new trailer that we had. I think that's the one you are talking about. That the singer herself did she did the voices by herself.
Yeah. It was actually the most fun one to do, I think, because
Yeah.
basically we just centered the song and said go wild, and she delivered something amazing back, which is always really fun.
Yeah.
That has to be. Am I correct in saying that the game began as a Kickstarter? Did I see that? I feel like I saw that Kickstarter trailer at one point. Did I see
Yeah,
that?
it was in 2021. There was a Kickstarter for it.
So I guess the question is, how much did the music and writing change over time?
A lot.
Tell me about that, please.
That there's like constant revision. I'm still revising dialogue right now, actually. There's constant revision and like going back and forth and stuff. Usually Electrobear is focused, for example, on one song, and then he sends several iterations of it. And while in Virgo, he sent like even like 20 iterations of for a song. In Keylocker, it's being much easier. Like he's so much better now as a musician. Like he really gets the vision so much easier now. Like we just have to explain a little bit, and that's it. He got it. He goes and does a song. It's like really cool to see like just saying some things to him, and then a really good song comes out of it. So it's just like thing of tweaking things here and there, it changes a little bit. In terms of the art style, though, it changed a lot from the very beginning up to now, because at the very beginning we had a different perspective, and then we changed for isometric. We had a perspective that was more top view, like diagonal.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we changed to isometric, but and then we had to change all the assets we had done by then, but it wasn't a lot because it was just like the first 3 months of development.
Yeah,
go ahead,
it's
Anglerman.
just because we didn't believe it was gonna be possible to make an isometric game on Game Maker, which is the engine we're using, because it's entirely made for either top-down or platformer view, and we ended up finding a method with every two tiles being a diagonal of one would kind of make it isometric. And it was funny because all the NPCs and characters we did just fit right in when we changed it to isometric, because it's really a much more natural view of how we organize things. We don't do isometric just because it's easy to do or something. We do it because it's really natural for us as a species. Like seeing the things on this perspective, it's really important. And that change it made the game actually work. Like before that, we were struggling. I believe Bear was also struggling with music. I was struggling with graphics, and everyone was suffering a bit
Yeah.
until we got the perspective right. Then it just went right through. We never changed it.
Clicked, yeah. Yeah, it just clicked. It was that thing of like, now this is the game where we were envisioning, and then everything just fell into place.
When we're recording this a day under a month from your release date,
Yeah,
and that has to be exciting and nerve-wracking. How are you guys feeling right now?
I'm very stressed because I'm still like sending dialogue for translations right now. Like really stressed, but yeah, I think it will be like once it's out, I'll be fine. I'll be tranquil.
Mm-hmm. I guess a silly question, but a real one. Are you happy with the game?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
This game is like I wasn't when we released Vogo, for example, there were a lot of things I was thinking like, oh, this could have been better, that could have been better and stuff, because we were in such a rush to push it through because of our deadlines and everything. But with Keylocker, we really sat and like trying to make everything connect, everything perfect. I'm revising so much of the story in comparison to our first game, and it's really satisfying to see how like everything connects and everything is really like on a place that we're really proud of ourselves. Like this is definitely best Elektrobear's work to date, in my opinion, best Anglerman's work to date. It's like this is the best we've achieved ever in our lives before. Not that we've been working on this for like thousands of years, but it's the best to date for sure.
Yeah.
What would determine success for you guys? Because you're coming to all consoles, PC. This is your best work to date. How do you guys define success for yourselves?
I think like maybe just like getting lots of reviews and people playing. I would like the game to reach lots of people. So like it's a thing of like really want everyone to play the game and enjoy it. It's just like not really understand our vision instead of playing it and being like, oh, this was a mad game. I would rather people hate it or love it.
Exactly. Yeah. Strong feelings. That's the
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, I really appreciate you guys taking the time to come on here. Of course, Keylocker is coming to PlayStation, to PC, to Switch, and to Xbox on the 18th of September. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, I wish you
right
guys
in between God of War there and Final Fantasy. We're right in the middle there.
Yeah. Should be easy.
Should be fine. Should be fine.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
Well, I thank you guys again for joining me, and I wish you guys all the success in the world.
Thank you for having us.
For the
Thank you very much.
opportunity.
Thank you. Yeah.
Alrighty, guys, that's going to do it for this interview. Please stick around and keep your eye on the Xbox Expansion Pass for more developer interviews. Have a great day. Take care.